Hello, Lions fans. If you are happy with the Detroit Lions' choice regarding the 53-man roster for this season, hit the like button. If you wish, comment on which name is causing the most expectation in the roster in your opinion. I confess that I am betting a lot on Sione Vaki. This guy is going to make history here. Get ready to hear a name that's quickly becoming impossible to ignore: Lauren Strickland. This undrafted rookie has taken the Detroit Lions training camp by storm, proving that sometimes the biggest impact comes from the most unexpected places. Strickland, a former captain at the University of Indianapolis, made an incredible leap from Division II to Ball State and now, incredibly, to the NFL. Standing at just 5'9", this hard-hitting defensive back has gone from an afterthought with a $1,500 signing bonus to securing a spot on the Lions' initial 53-man roster. Strickland's journey is nothing short of remarkable. Reminiscent of Malcolm Rodriguez a few years back, Strickland made his presence felt in every padded practice with his relentless, fundamentally sound, and downright violent tackles. His intensity on the field has caught the eye of not only his teammates but also the coaching staff. In his Monday press conference after the preseason game against the Giants, head coach Dan Campbell had high praise for the young player, stating, "He just keeps making plays, and that's a great thing. He's one of those players that I say it's hard to ignore him. So he's caught our eye, and he's got a knack for playing the ball. He's got a knack for finding the ball and getting it down, and he's smart. Man, he's smart. Conscientious player, and to your point, he plays all out. He is lights out, and he's an aggressive player. So, we got our eye on him. He's doing well." When training camp began, Strickland was just another name in the mix, battling for reps as a safety on the third team. Fast forward a few weeks, and he was stepping in with the first team at nickelback, seamlessly filling in for Amick Robertson and Brian Branch when they were sidelined. What's more, Strickland never looked out of place. He was comfortable near the line of scrimmage, unafraid to lay down the hits, and excelled playing downhill. By the time the Lions faced the Steelers, Strickland was not just playing safety. He was lining up as the last man on the line of scrimmage, and even stepping in as a stand-up linebacker, showcasing his versatility and football intelligence. Credit is due not just to Strickland but also to the Lions' defensive coaching staff, who recognized his potential early on and adapted their schemes to utilize his unique skill set. Strickland has an innate ability to diagnose plays quickly, trust his instincts, and disrupt the opposition's game plan. This ability to acclimate so rapidly to multiple roles and succeed is what's setting him apart from the pack. So, what can we expect from Strickland this season? If he's active on game days, at the very least, he'll be a force on special teams, potentially becoming a bash brother alongside fellow rookie Sione Vaki. On defense, he adds valuable depth as a hybrid safety nickel defender, which could allow Ennis Rakestraw Jr. to focus on his duties at outside cornerback and give Brian Branch the flexibility to remain primarily at safety. While it's still early days in Strickland's NFL career, don't be surprised if he carves out a niche role as a situational extra defensive back in short yardage and goal line scenarios. Now, I want to hear from you, Lions fans. What do you think about Lauren Strickland's rise through the ranks? Could he be one of those underdog stories that make a significant impact this season? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and let's get the conversation started. We've got some big news out of Detroit. Just after roster cutdowns on Tuesday, the Lions made a sneaky addition that could pay off in a big way. They brought in former Denver Broncos receiver Tim Patrick to the practice squad, with ESPN's Adam Schefter reporting that the plan is for him to work his way onto the active roster. Now, we all know the Lions were on the hunt for an ex-receiver after the preseason ended, so it's not too surprising that they snagged Patrick once Denver couldn't find a trade partner. But what kind of player are we really getting? To get the inside scoop, we reached out to Tim Lynch, managing editor over at Mile High Report, who's got some first-hand knowledge of Patrick's time in Denver. Patrick first landed a reserve-future contract with the Broncos back in January 2018. Lynch told us that when Patrick arrived in Denver, no one really knew what to expect. He had bounced around the league a bit as a rookie, but once he stuck with Denver, he put in the work and steadily improved. The fact that he survived 4 different head coaches during his time with the Broncos says a lot about his development and perseverance. Rising from barely making the roster to becoming an NFL starter is no small feat. Now, Patrick's had some rough luck recently with injuries. He hasn't seen the field since 2021 due to back-to-back season-ending injuries. But Lynch shared that Patrick was healthy for this year's training camp and looked good, which made it all the more surprising when Denver decided to let him go. Despite his injuries, Patrick was a solid number, 2 receiver in 2020 and 2021, catching everything thrown his way and consistently finding ways to get open, even with questionable quarterback play. Over those 2 seasons, he racked up 104 receptions for 1,476 yards and 11 touchdowns. It's tough to see him go down with injuries 2 years in a row, but seeing him bounce back in the preseason was encouraging. Denver's decision to move on likely has more to do with their desire to get younger on the roster than with Patrick's ability. For those wondering how Patrick might fit in Detroit, especially with the Lions in need of a big-bodied X-receiver after Josh Reynolds' departure, Lynch believes Patrick could be an upgrade. He pointed out that Patrick is bigger and has elite hands. He catches everything. While Patrick is getting up there in age for a receiver, Lynch thinks he's still got enough left in the tank to make an impact, especially with a playoff-caliber team like the Lions. In terms of what we can expect on the field, Patrick is known for excelling on shallow crossing routes and other middle-of-the-field patterns. He's not afraid to take a big hit to make a catch, and he's got an underrated ability to win jump balls. While it's hard to say if he still has that big play potential after the injuries, what we saw in the preseason suggests he might have some of that spark left. Lynch also shared that Patrick is a fan favorite in Denver, known for his work ethic and clutch performances. He's one of those players who really connects with the fans, something that's increasingly rare in the NFL today. As for his blocking, which is a big deal in Detroit's receiver room, Lynch praised Patrick's effort in that area. He mentioned that poor receiver blocking has been a problem in Denver for years, but Patrick was always the guy who never quit on a block. That kind of mentality should fit right in with the Lions, especially under offensive coordinator Ben Johnson's no block, no rock philosophy. So, Lions fans, what do you think? Could Tim Patrick be the missing piece in Detroit's receiving core? Do you believe he can bounce back from those injuries and make an impact this season? Lions fans, the NFL roster is never really set in stone, and that's why Tuesday's cuts were just the beginning. The initial 53-man roster is just that, initial. On Wednesday, the Lions, like every other team, will sift through over 900 waived or released players to find potential upgrades. Despite having one of the league's best rosters, the Lions aren't passing up opportunities to improve, as shown by the reported signing of former Broncos wide receiver Tim Patrick to the practice squad. Expect more moves soon. With John Kaminsky heading to short-term IR, at least one released player, likely defensive tackle Kyle Peko, is coming back. We'll keep you updated on all the roster changes, practice squad additions, and where released Lions land. What do you think of these moves? Let us know in the comments.